Now that we're halfway through the NBA regular season, I want to give my picks for who's most deserving of the major awards. Keep in mind these are picks for what's happened so far, not who I think will wind up winning. For MVP, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm really tempted to say Jaylen Brown, as he's had a spectacular season averaging nearly 30 points while leading the Celtics to the second seed in the East when many thought the Celtics would be in the play-in. But SGA has been too great to ignore this season. Shai's put up some crazy numbers while playing for the best team in the league, so it'd be really hard to go with anyone else. SGA is currently the best scorer in the NBA, averaging 32 points per game on ridiculous efficiency. Usually when a player has to do a lot of heavy lifting for a team on offense like Shai has to, their scoring percentages aren't great. But Shai has an absurd 67 true shooting percentage this season so far. The only other guard to average 30 plus points per game on 65% true shooting or higher is Steph Curry in his unanimous MVP season in 2016. Shai's also nearly on pace to join the prestigious 50-40-90 club, as he's currently shooting 55% from the field, 40% from 3, and 89% from the free throw line. There are only 13 instances of a player having 50-40-90 splits in a season in NBA history, and only 9 players have accomplished the feat in the storied history of the league. So Shai accomplishing this would put this season of his in some mighty rare air. In addition to his scoring, his playmaking has been very good as well, as Shai is averaging over 6 assists per game. Perhaps the craziest part of his extraordinary offensive season is that he's doing all this while averaging less than 2 turnovers per game. No player in NBA history has ever averaged 30 points, 6 assists, and less than 2 turnovers per game like Shai is this season. Shai's offensive impact means so much to the Thunder, as when he's on the court, OKC has an offensive rating of 123, which would be the best of any team in the NBA. When he's not on the court, OKC has an offensive rating of 112, which would put them at 25th in the NBA. He's more than worthy of taking home a second straight MVP, and doing so would cement him as the all-time player that he is. For Defensive Player of the Year, I have Rudy Gobert. Most centers in their mid-30s start to lose their athleticism and ability to impact the game defensively, but the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year hailing from France has kept up his impact on that end of the floor at 33 years old. Rudy is currently 7th in the league in block shots per game, but that doesn't tell the whole story of his defensive impact. His presence in the paint deters opponents from getting up shots on drives and forces them to pass up looks that they wouldn't with most other centers roaming the paint. When opponents do decide to take shots in the paint, they're far less efficient than when contested by most centers in the league, as they shoot 12% under average when Gobert is guarding the rim. Gobert does a great job of being careful on contests as well, as he fouls on less than 7% of the shots he contests, which puts him in the 95th percentile among centers. While Rudy has a reputation of only being a rim protector, he's more than capable of holding his own outside of the paint as well, as he's shown that he can get stops when put in a position where he has to defend one-on-one outside of the paint. He's led the Timberwolves to a top 10 defensive rating in the league, being by far their most impactful defender. His on-court impact defensively is second to none, as the Wolves' defense is a ridiculous 15 points better per 100 possessions when he's on the court, compared to when he isn't. His combination of counting stats and monstrous impact carrying his team to being a great defense makes him deserving of his 5th Defensive Player of the Year award in my eyes. I would go with Victor Wembanyama for this award, but he's played 13 less games than Gobert, so I feel like Gobert is more deserving at this point in time. For Rookie of the Year, I have Kon Knueppel. In what has been the tightest awards race of any, I'd go with Kon Knueppel for the Rookie of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Cooper Flagg pulls away and winds up winning the award, as is currently expected since he's a huge favorite on betting platforms, but I think Kon Knueppel is deserving of the award as we sit here halfway through the season. Knueppel was billed as the most NBA-ready prospect in the draft, and he's shown why to say the least, as he's come into the NBA and immediately become one of the premier shooters in the league. Kon's signature skill has been even better than expected and has him making history. Earlier this season, Kon passed Steph Curry for being the fastest player in NBA history to make 100 career threes. In addition, Kon is one of only 2 players in the NBA averaging 40% on threes while attempting at least 8 per game, with the only other player being Anthony Edwards. However, he's not just a 3-point specialist like some may label him. While he does shoot a ton of threes because he's great at them, he mixes in quite a few shots from mid-range and at the rim as well. Despite not being very tall or having great athleticism, he's still able to finish a respectable 63% of his shots at the rim, and and he's been great from mid-range, shooting 50% on them this year. His elite jump shooting and ability to finish at the rim gives Knueppel a true shooting percentage of 65 on his 19 points per game, which is ridiculously impressive for a rookie. He's also able to distribute the ball a bit as well, setting up teammates on drives and being able to get them the ball when he's the ball handler in a pick and roll. His ability to handle the ball, run off of screens, and screen for others makes him a very valuable offensive weapon. And he may not be a plus defender, but he's certainly not a cone on defense either. He's actually been really good contesting shots at the rim, as opponents are shooting 7% under league average when he's been the closest defender to the hoop. While Cooper Flagg may wind up winning the award, I think Knueppel's ultra-efficient 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game make him the most worthy of the award halfway through the season. For my most improved player, I have Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I have no idea why, but I've barely heard any chatter of Alexander-Walker winning or even being in the most improved player conversation this year. With Trae Young being either hurt or not on the team anymore, Alexander-Walker's had a much more important role for Atlanta's offense than anyone expected. But he's adjusted to his increased workload on offense well. Nickeil has seen his scoring average take a massive jump from 9 points per game to 20 points per game, which is the biggest increase in scoring average from last year of any player in the NBA. Along with the big jump in production, Alexander-Walker is having the most efficient shot-making season of his career too. Nickeil has a true shooting percentage of 58 this year, which is above average for a guard, and quite impressive considering his production and this being his first year with this type of offensive responsibility. He's been able to do so by attacking the paint more, leading to a career-high percentage of his shots coming at the rim. Attacking the rim is doubly effective for his efficiency due to him drawing more fouls as well, as Nickeil is averaging more than twice as many free throws as any other year of his career, and is shooting a career-high 86% on them. Another big part of his production and efficiency is his three-point shooting. Nickeil is averaging 8 attempts per game and is shooting 38% on them, which has put him in the top 15 in the league in three-pointers made this season. Nickeil's massive 11-point scoring leap and increase in efficiency makes me think he's the most worthy of winning the MIP award this year so far, despite the lack of attention he's getting. Shout out to Ryan Rollins for his great improvement this year as well. I would have picked him if not for him tailing off more recently. For Sixth Man of the Year, I have Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez has been tremendous off the bench this year for the Heat, having by far the best season of his career. The 24-year-old has contributed in multiple ways across the board for Miami, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game as a reserve. Jaquez doesn't have great athleticism like some of the other premier sixth men in the league, but he makes up for it with his savvy, strength, and a solid handle that allows him to consistently get to his spots. He's shooting 71% at the rim this year, which is 5% above league average, and is shooting 45% from mid-range, which is above league average and puts him in the 81st percentile for all forwards. His 16 points per game on above average efficiency off the bench makes him the highest scoring bench player in the league this season. His passing off the bench has been nearly as valuable for the Heat as well, as Jaquez averages nearly 5 dimes per game, which is good for 7th in assists per game off the bench and second best among non-point guards. His ability to pull down rebounds and quickly start fast breaks also helps the Miami offense too. His ability to impact the game by scoring, passing, and rebounding give him the edge over other Sixth Man of the Year candidates for me. Shout out to former Sixth Man of the Year Naz Reid for once again having another great season off the bench as well. For Clutch Play of the Year, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is probably the easiest award to pick of any, since SJ leads the league in clutch points by a lot, and is averaging nearly 8 points per clutch time game, almost 2 more than any other player. He's doing this on an absurd 65% true shooting as well, which is 7% above average. Also, Shai is doing this with a better clutch record than anybody close to him in clutch points, with the Thunder going 11-5 in clutch games this year. It's utterly ridiculous that he has far and away the most clutch points in the NBA despite playing only 16 clutch games this season. For context, Cade Cunningham, who's second in clutch points this year, has played in 5 more clutch games than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Nobody else besides Shai has an argument for this award, but props to Nikola Vucevic for his 3 game-winning shots this season. And lastly, for Coach of the Year, I have Jordan Ott. No team has flipped the script in a positive way as much as the Phoenix Suns have this year, and first-year head coach Jordan Ott has been a huge reason why. After spending the last couple years being a disappointment despite having multiple stars, the Suns have done a complete 180 this year. Ott has instilled a culture of accountability and toughness this year that hasn't been seen in Phoenix over the past few years, and it's been a big reason for Phoenix's surprising success. The Suns have improved mightily on the defensive end of the ball this year under Ott, as they have improved from 27th in the league in opponent points per 100 possessions all the way to 7th this season. They play a more aggressive style of defense this season, which has helped them increase their turnovers force rate exponentially. Last year they were the third worst team in the league at forcing turnovers, but this year they're the third best team. Ott's done a great job of turning around Phoenix's fast break defense too, as the Suns have gone from 23rd in fast break rate allowed to 9th, and from 26th in fast break points per play to 2nd. Potentially more impressive than Phoenix's improvement on the defensive end from last year is that the Suns' offense has actually slightly improved this year despite losing Kevin Durant in the offseason. Along with the Suns losing KD's offensive impact, they've only gotten 2 games out of Jalen Green, who was the headlining piece of the Kevin Durant trade. Additionally, Devin Booker is having a bit of a down year, scoring the least points per game he's averaged since 2018, with the worst efficiency he's had in the last 9 years. The fact that Jordan Ott has actually been able to improve Phoenix's offense despite all these factors is beyond impressive. The Suns have seen a nearly 7-point swing in net rating from last year to this year under Ott, and are currently on pace to win almost 50 games this season after being projected to only win 30 games in the preseason. This makes Ott the obvious choice for the Coach of the Year in my opinion, although I must give Joe Mazzulla a lot of credit for leading Boston to a top 5 record in the league despite the loss of Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis.